Hey everybody, this is HD, and this is going to be another HD video of a ladder game, and it is going to be on Pink Bunny, which means I'm going to be playing the off-race Terran, and it is going to be a Terran versus Zerg, which I noticed I did Terran versus Terran, I did Terran versus Protoss, but I didn't do a Terran versus Zerg yet. So this is going to be a TVZ video, and it is going to be on Lost Temple. As you guys can see, it is Daily Ladder. It is going to be first-person view. And yes, as you guys all know, I am currently in the Masters League on my main account. So this is not a Masters League game. This is actually pretty high diamond. I think it's around 2400 diamond. So it's on the cusp of being a Masters League game, I'd say. But of course, my Terran is not that great. It's okay. So hopefully you guys get a little bit out of this. And yes, again, it is a Terran versus Zerg. Now, before I really get into the depth of this game, I just wanted to say that a lot of people have been idling my channel. It is just HD StarCraft. Of course, Battle.net 2.0 now has a new channel system. So definitely go ahead and check it out if you guys ever want to just chit chat or play some games with me. Sometimes I want to play some games with some of the fans out there. And so if you guys are in the channel, yeah, you got a chance to tune in and play live. So anyways, this is going to be a TVZ, and it is going to be a somewhat different style of Terran versus Zerg. I'm going to be showing you guys a fast gas Terran build order, which means basically I'm getting gas before barracks. As you guys can see, I have one refinery going down, and my barracks is going to be coming up after the refinery. So you get your refinery around 11, and you get your barracks around 13. The purpose of this build is to accumulate that quick gas so you can get up to starport as quickly as possible. This is going to be a 2-port Banshee style opening versus Zerg, and it's actually really strong. I was playing on Metalopolis on my main account as Zerg, and this Terran player did this to me, and he almost beat me, and it was really difficult to deal with. So I thought, you know, this is a very powerful build. Maybe I can emulate it, and of course I'm not going to be as good, but I can emulate it, and hopefully a lot of you Terran players out there can pick this up. And for Zerg, maybe you guys can learn how to adapt if you guys have ever faced off against this style of Terran play before. Now, you do get your barracks down, immediately get one Marine out, of course, just to, you know, pick off any overlords that may come, and you can handle any Zerglings that may come as well. And what you want to do is get your factory down ASAP. We're going to open up this build with 4 Hellions just to apply some ground pressure against the Zerg. The reason for that is because a lot of times if you don't apply ground pressure to Zerg players, then they're able to macro up a bunch of drones, and you don't want that to happen. You want them to focus on ground defense, such as spawn crawlers and more Zerglings, and that will delay their anti-air defense when the Banshees come. So as you guys can see, with my first barracks, after the Marine comes out, you do build a reactor, and you're going to be swapping that barracks onto the factory. So basically, you're going to do a little bit of building hopping, musical chairs, and you're going to put the factory on the reactor core so you can pump out Hellions as quickly as possible. Now, as soon as your factory starts to go down, you do want to get that second gas up and running. This is a very gas-intensive opening, and it is pretty much a one-base build. I would almost say it's one base all in if you don't do enough damage, but in most cases rather than not, unless your Zerg player is really good, you're gonna do a lot of damage. And when this Terran player tried it against me, I suffered a ton of damage. So it can be a very brutal opening. Now, as you guys can see, I did just swap my 2 buildings around. You do want to be careful when you swap. Make sure those Zerglings can run underneath and block the landing sequence. But as soon as you switch the buildings, you do build your 2 starports, and you immediately start to pump Hellions as quickly as possible. You want to get 4 Hellions out, and as soon as you get those Hellions out, you can go out and do some of that ground damage that I was talking about. So here we go, my opponent is going to bring a couple Zerglings in here. A lot of times players will actually hide their Hellions, they don't want to reveal it, but in this case you do want to reveal your Hellions. You want to show them, hey look buddy, I've got factory, I've got reactor, core on it, I've got Hellions, I'm coming for you on the ground, but try not to show your starports. In fact, looking at this build right now, it might have been a wise idea to tuck those starports away, like behind my mineral line, somewhere really far in the back where overlords won't be able to see them. But nevertheless, this should still work out quite well. My Hellions are now on the way, and a good transition out of this. Say that your Hellion harass and then your Banshee harass both fail. The best transition out of this is either go for a command center or throw down 2 more barracks, one on the original reactor and getting a second barracks with another reactor and just pump mass Marines. And you're going to try to just end the game with Marines there and out. That's pretty much the only transitions you're left with should this strategy fail. So here we go. My opponent wisely has a spine crawler, but he didn't block his ramp. And anytime a Zerg player doesn't block the ramp with a queen or with Zerglings, just run your Hellions in. Yes, you're going to lose 1 or 2, but look at what you can get in return. It's always worth the risk for this kind of reward. You can burn up all these drones, and my opponent, as a Zerg player, personally speaking, it's never a good idea to clump your drones up like that and run them away. In fact, it would be better to just leave them mining rather than try to move them away from the Hellions, because, of course, when you try to run them away, then they get all clumped up and it's easy for them to die. Now, as you guys can see, I am getting my Banshees out of my starports. Unfortunately, I'm actually really supply blocked right now. So I was really focused on the Hellion micro and wasn't focused enough on macro. And that's just something that comes with practice. If you guys play Terran enough, you guys know when you need to build those supply depots. Just hop back to base real quickly and throw down a couple depots. But what you want to do here is wait for about 2 Banshees, and then you can move in and then surprise your opponent with the air units. If you take too long, then you allow your opponent to scout this out. But if you go too quickly, if you go with only 1 Banshee, then your opponent may have enough Queen firepower to hold off the air. So you always want to go in with 2, because 2 Banshees kill off 1 Queen. So here we go. Gonna go in here, and it looks like my opponent, her, is just gonna go ahead and leave the game. So that is going to be GG, and I think that showcased a very powerful, very powerful Terran versus Zerg opening. And I think I'm a little fearful now, because a lot of Terran players, I think, are going to start doing this. So there's, of course, a variety, a huge plethora of openings that Terrans can use. This is only one of them. And as you guys can see, my opponent was 25 or 26, one of those, 2,500 in Diamond. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this broadcast, and we're going to have more ladder games coming out soon. Pink Bunny, or AKA HD, signing out.